So for me, increasing the amount of water I normally drink and shampooing worked wonderfully. The real idea is about wetting the hair. So unlike when we had relaxed hair, when we stayed away from humidity, mist from a hot shower, rain, water in all forms, natural hair loves it and needs it. So don't be afraid to wet your hair on a daily basis. A point about the way your hair feels, really get to know your hair in such a way that you can tell what it needs by just touching it. I wish we had like touch-over vision so that you could actually feel my hair. It doesn't feel dry at all, but it is not wet, but it doesn't feel dry. And by feeling dry, I mean kind of that hay feeling that your hair sometimes can experience when it's not fully and properly moisturized. So it's really important to understand your hair, get to know your hair, maybe even do a little bit of research on the scientifics behind hair so that you understand what your hair needs. Does it need protein? Does it not need protein? Does it need more water? You know, a lot of the stuff that I was doing with my hair was very instinctive. It's very instinctual. So when I touched it and it felt like hay, I would just jump in the shower. By the way, even when my hair was relaxed, I would just jump in the shower and wash it and condition it, and then it would, kind of spring back to life. And for me, that was really about not knowing the stuff that I know now, but knowing that, wow, I was on the right path. I was doing things that really were helpful to my hair. So I would recommend very strongly that you get to know your hair in a very intimate way, so that you'll know what it needs when it tells you what it needs. I think I said this before, but I'll say it again. When your hair is wet is the only time you should be using a comb. And that comb should be wide tooth. Another key to moisturizing, remember I said there were two. Another one is natural oils and butters. They are absorbed into the hair shaft and keep it from feeling brittle and dry and feeling like hay. Most people on YouTube use unrefined shea butter, but there are other wonderful, wonderful things, oils and butters that you can use. And just because everybody uses shea butter doesn't mean that you have to. For me, when I was in that difficult period of my transition, months 2 and 3, I discovered unrefined shea butter and ordered some online, slapped that stuff in my hair, and it was like a miracle. It was a miracle. My hair responded. It ceased to be dry. I could actually, because at that time I was still trying to put a comb through it, at that time it helped the comb go through. And I was like, wow, this is magic. Let me get some more. And we've been using in our family unrefined shea butter ever since, from head to toe, including especially the hair. There are other oils and butters that are equally wonderful, like coconut, avocado, olive, and jojoba. Jojoba is another favorite of mine. They work great, and so if you find that any one of those don't work for you, there's always another one to try. And I wouldn't want you to think that unrefined shea butter or shea butter is the only kind of oil or moisturizer that will be good for your hair. There are others, and you should investigate and experiment to see what works well for you. And once you find something that works, stick to it. It's always best to buy oils which have been through the least amount of refinement as possible. So instead of getting something that's very heavily processed, you should look for that which is in its closest to natural state. For example, when using avocado oil, it should be a deep green color, not yellow. Yellow is a sign that it has been refined and processed, whereas the deep green shows that it has experienced less processing. So when I started out with unrefined shea butter, which I purchased online from From butters and bars, I have found them to be just wonderful. Service is great. Their product is great. They have other things for sale, which I have just fallen in love with. And that website is traditional and commercially available products are usually chock full of chemicals that really ought to be avoided. At the beginning of my transition, I was using Tresemme shampoo and conditioner. The shampoo made my hair feel like tree bark. It was awful. And so that I had to use gobs and gobs of conditioner to kind of restore my hair. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it because I just assumed that, well, this is what shampoo does when it's cleaning your hair of all the stuff that you put in it, so it has to just, take everything out. But I never quite understood why it had to make my hair feel so almost damaged every time I washed with it. And I thought that was all, par for the course until I knew better. So in March of 2009, while I was in this quest to find different ways to care for my hair, I started using a natural shampoo and I immediately noticed a difference. It was like night and day. My hair really prefers the natural stuff. It really does. And the product that I used at that time, and I still use today, is Karen's Body Beautiful. I have since stopped using her liquid shampoo and have switched to her bar. I use that pretty exclusively. I do have other shampoos in my cabinet because I have a lot of products. But I defer to that one. I use that one more than anything else. And I also like Butters and Bars has a really wonderful, wonderful liquid shampoo. It's with shea butter and honey. Another product that we need to get away from just as a people is grease. Anything that's petroleum or petrolatum based is no good for your hair because it actually attracts dirt, makes the hair greasy, smothers the hair, and doesn't allow moisture in. Grease often makes the hair dry and provides no real moisture. So your hair doesn't feel moisturized, it feels greasy. And, until we know better, we don't know that there's something better for our hair. Even after I add oil and butter and stuff, moisturizers to my hair doesn't feel greasy.